So this, coming straight off the Amazon truck, is, and it's stuck, my new 100mm brass caliper. So let's take a look here first. It is a B01D943RU8 Graz 4-inch pocket brass caliper. Inside out measurements, high precision dual, graduated design, made from solid brass, something something something, for mechanics, hobbyists, blah blah blah. Item new. I needed to measure things, small things, quicker in the shop. I'm doing a lot more small engine, and I wanted to be able to pick up a fuel line or a pull cord or something small, measure it, and be able to figure out which item I needed, which size I needed to replace. It's only 4 inches long when it's fully closed. It is metric and imperial measurements on it, so I can switch back and forth, which is kind of what I wanted. Sometimes I'm dealing with decimal inches, and sometimes I'm dealing with millimeters and the such. So I want to be able to switch back and forth. And the other good thing about this that some of the other calipers didn't have is it has 2 lines right here, in and out. So you can measure on the inside of the caliper right here, or between the 2 posts on the outside. So if you're trying to do an inside diameter, you can get a measurement real easily. Now the other ones, you could do the same thing, but they didn't have the marking for it, so you'd have to subtract the difference of the thickness of the points to figure out what the inside diameter was going to be. But this was nicely marked out. This is a Graz, which is basically a no-name brand, Chinese-made caliper. Goes up to 100 millimeters and is 4 inches long. So the reason why I got this size, smaller size, let me show you. I wanted this to be a part of my everyday carry and something I could just quickly get to without having to search for my other calipers. I have quite a few other ones, and I can show you those, but I wanted something I could put in my pocket that was small. But instead of putting it in my pocket, I found another place I could carry it. So when I'm working on small engines and lawnmowers, I don't want to have my phone in my pocket because I'm always sitting down on the lawnmower or bending over or doing something like that. So I like to carry it in a pouch. And this is my night zine. I think this is an XL phone pouch that I use. It has a nice clip on it, and I've used this all the way back from the first iPhones when the cases were a lot smaller. Now they're so huge. They just keep growing every year with the phones. So this just slips in just like that, and there you go. This just goes on my hip, and it keeps everything out of the way, and I don't have to worry about banging it in my pocket with my keys. Now one thing it does come with is this little pocket. I used to carry business cards in it, but it's a perfect spot for my new caliper. So you just stick it right in here just like that, and it's easily accessed when I need to on my side hip. But the issue I was concerned about is, see, I'm putting this brass and it has a little thumb screw here. I'm worried about it hitting the screen on my phone. So what I did was I cut a piece of black leather and just stuck it right there to be a protective guard between the two. I debated on making a whole nother leather case for it, but I decided once I realized I had this case and then I could put this leather guard here, that should be plenty of protection to pull this in and out of. So I don't know how well you can see on the fit and finish is not the best. I mean, you're only talking, this is a $13 caliper. The fit and finish, I did want to improve. I don't know if you can see, some of the cuts here are a little rough on the edges. So what I think we should do is we're going to sand those down just to make it so it feels a little bit better in the hand and improve it and then give it that steric quality finish. So I'm going to take some of this 3M Scotch-Brite sanding pad here, and we're just going to go over the corners here to get any of the defects from the milling process. Now when you're doing this, I would be careful. I'm not going to go too much into, I know this isn't finely precision cut. I'm not going to even mess with the inside and the tips right here. We're just going to assume those were precision ground. We're just going to get the edges where you're going to put your hand and anywhere else that could get caught in the case. And I don't know, the next thing I think I'm going to do is, you can see it somewhat on the camera here, is you can see the, I guess they're laser etched numbers, but when you're actually, depending on the light, if you got a glare or anything like that, it's hard to see kind of like that. If you're at a weird angle, I can't see any lines, I can't see any measurements. So I've got something else to fix that. So what I found when I'm working with tools and I can't see the numbers very well is I use this. This is a grease pencil. This is better than a crayon. You can use crayons, but I don't think the wax lasts long enough in the tools. This is a little bit waxy. I'm not sure the makeup of it, but it's a heavier base and it stays in the tool marks a little bit better than crayons I've found. So all I'm going to do is just scratch it in to numbers. This is blue. You can get black, you can get red. Just wherever there's an indentation in the numbers, you just kind of rub over it, and it's going to make everything a little darker. You just go kind of crazy with it. Rub it in real good. Then we're going to take our cloth here, and you're just getting the top layer off. Just kind of getting that out there. And then you can see how it's a little bit more pronounced than over here in this area where it still kind of blends in. You can kind of see it again, like you can see it sometimes depending on the reflection, but I want to be able to see it without having to worry about it. Okay, so what it's reading right now is 0 inches and millimeters because it's closed, and that's pointing to the outside of whatever you're measuring because this is completely closed. Now to compensate for the, I guess, teeth right here, you've got the inside measurement, which is calibrated at 5 millimeters. So they're saying the width of this is 5 millimeters. So let's check out. We're going to get our digital calipers. Let's close it up, zero it out. I'm going to change it to millimeters here. Zero it out again. And here we're going to have to, there you go, we'll do it this way. So depending on where you take the measurement reading, I mean this caliper's a little bit worn too, but it's like 4.965. I think that's a little too much. 5.3, so it's close to 5 millimeters. It's not that bad. So let's take it out to the inside measurements of 30 millimeters. So being the outside measurement, that means in between here. So we'll just take our calipers here. We'll measure it. And where are we at? 29. And I'm pushing it just a tiny bit. That's 30 right there. And let's see if we can get a close up. And you can see, you got to get the shine on. See, that's what I was talking about. It's hitting right at 30. So that's not too bad. And let's go all the way out to 100. Now it's a little wobbly here, so let's do 90. Let's see what we got. Okay, I can do this two hands. Let me hold it up here like that. And then we're going to take it all the way out to 90. Not too much. And that's right about 90. And it's right there. So my eyeballs, you're not going to be able to tell that micro thousandths of an inch. And it's right on 90. So this is, at least the scaling is correct. And it's not off. But I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons. So really I'm just going to be taking a measurement here. And then taking the other part and measuring it to see if it's the same. Not really doing precise like 3D CAD design or anything like that. So this will definitely work. But I'm glad to know at least the calibration is good all the way throughout the entire caliper. So there you go. Everyday carry brass, solid brass caliper. And if you're not doing precision to the thousandths of an inch work, I mean, this is terrific. Now you can see this is my desk caliper that I use when I'm doing Fusion 360. I like to measure pieces a lot easier. And then for the shop, I just got this cheap Harbor Freight one. It works just fine. It gets down to, I mean, all the machines that I'm using, it gets down far enough to the measurements that I need, but it's too big when I'm sitting at my desk trying to measure all these small parts. So that's why I kind of like the smaller caliper here. And then this is a broken one, so I like to use this as more of a scratch-all. So if I'm measuring something, I can just measure it, and then if I need to make some measurements, I'm not worried about messing up the tips. But the reason why I didn't want to carry this one or even this one in my everyday carry, one, it's just this one's a little bit longer. But two, it has these sharp points at the end here that would stick out. And if I was going to put it in my pocket or carry it around, it was just too big. So you see why this is a little bit better because it's smaller, both in length and height, and width too. Look how thick that thing is because it has a battery. And this is all I really need for day-to-day purposes right now for doing small things around, small engine stuff to measure. So I did want to share this one caliper I just got just a couple weeks ago at an estate sale, and it was just covered in rust. And actually, I didn't really look over it very carefully and really look at the branding on it before today. And I am happy to say that this is the LS Starrett Company. So this is a Starrett inside measurement caliper, which I mean, this is a great bonus. I was just getting it because I needed one to measure the inside of cylinder bores, and that's what this does. Is you stick this caliper inside a round object, loosen it till it gets to the measurement. You pull it out, and then you can get your micrometer. You gotta turn it on first, measure it, and then you can get the measurement here. Just like that, because if you need to get down deep into the cylinder and you can't reach because this only has the depth of there. So this is a great little find. I truly am surprised. I forgot to even look to see if this had any branding on it. The only defect on it that I saw was there's some solder right here. I don't know why there's soldering right here. It doesn't look broken to me. But maybe it was broken and they just soldered it back together. I'll have to do further investigation on that, but that's kind of cool. Alright, and moving on to my other tool that I got at a estate sale. This is my huge engineering ruler. This is 18 inches long. I don't typically use it day to day. I do use this when I'm laying out a design on paper. What I like about it is that it's a square, or I guess a tri-angled ruler, so then that way you can put it on the paper and you can hold the top of it and move it around a lot easier than having a flat ruler, because when you put it down then you got to kind of pick it up and it's kind of hard. So I like having the triangular one. This has a lot of different scaled measurements that you can use. I don't typically use those that much, but it's fun to have the different scaling. But definitely it's good when you need a long straight line when you're doing paper drawings. I think we did a video on it wasn't an estate sale, kind of. It was a person who was an engineer in a factory, and they would buy him all kinds of equipment, and he never really used any of it because he just was stuck with the tools that he knew and liked. And this is pretty much brand new Starrett micrometer in the box that he never used. And now this you can use for doing very minute engineering measurements. So that's one of my prized measuring tools. I'm really happy about that. And it is, for those interested, a Starrett 216, and even still has the plastic on the name tag. I haven't taken it off yet, but I was really happy to get this. And he gave me a good deal because I bought a whole bunch of different things from him, so that's kind of cool. So let me know in the comments down below what type of measurement tools that you use, calipers, micrometers, rulers, what you like to use in your shop, and just share the knowledge that you have. And if you would like a link to any of the items that you've seen today, look in the video description below and we'll have a link to our Amazon shop to each of the items. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one that you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time.